light winds for fog.
You do. Well, Ryan had asked this question to me. I was like, I've not heard of a wind speed. I was like, I would assume anything less than 3 to 5 miles per hour. And he looked it up, and in fact, that's right. It's like less than about 5 knots. You can still have fog form because you don't have that mixing of the atmosphere.
But then, if you had a snowpack on the ground,
yes,
the warm air flowing in, you could maybe have a little bit faster wind. That's what we call advection fog. But
right,
that's not happening in very many places.
What would you think would be the max wind you could have fog at?
Oh, maybe 10 miles per hour.
Is there a number? 10 to 15. I've seen that up north.
Yeah.
Okay, good question. That's an excellent question this evening, Snap.
Next one is coming from Donna.
From Donna, who writes, could you please explain what the thermohaline cycle is? Where's Carl Parker?
I got that.
What do you need? We got this one?
So there's circulations in the atmosphere, but there's also a global circulation in the ocean. And this circulation isn't driven by wind or currents. It's driven by density differences. Temperature, and haline is the salinity of the ocean. And those density differences actually drive that current. Part of the current on the surface is the Gulf Stream, and the Gulf Stream is what keeps the British Isles warm. And there is a climate theory here that all the fresh water that's melting in Greenland could cause this cycle to slow down. And one of the theories is that could cause very rapid climate shifts in the globe.
And so the thermohaline cycle could be shifting.
It could very well be.
Very good here, and we'll be out of that. That's good. All right, so the gang's all back again. We're talking about what we learned on the show this evening. Hopefully you learned something as well. I learned from winter weather expert Tom Nizzle that the Sierra now has 80% of its average snowpack now, where we haven't been there in a long time. And it's early in the season, so this is good.
And we're only going to keep building it over the next few days.
That's awesome.
I actually learned that we haven't had a tornado fatality since May. We really haven't had that many tornadoes, but you kind of forget that we really haven't had that bad of severe weather outbreaks, which is actually a good stat. That's a good thing to have.
And it will be December 31st, Sarah.
December 31st
we'll break
will
the
be
record.
220 days, which will be the record.
If we can get there.
Longest tornado death streak. We got severe weather in the forecast this week. Please let your friends, neighbors, family members know that severe weather is coming this week. Don't let that streak end. Ryan?
I learned from Allison that there is a weather forecast office in Vermont, was it? That has gone longer than a weather forecast office in Dallas without a winter storm warning?
Yes.
Is that Burlington?
Yeah.
Burlington
kidding.
and Cleveland. Burlington and Cleveland have had, they've gone a longer stretch of issuing a winter storm warning than the offices in Dallas and also Birmingham.
You made Tom Nizzle very sad. It's been very warm.
Dallas
Nothing's going on.
They had an active end of the winter last year with the icing events, so that part doesn't surprise me too. Well, a little bit. It surprises me. So.
What'd you learn, Tom?
I learned from Dave. He confirmed this rise-fall pressure couplet through Portland there. We had these 4 millibar rises on the front end of the storm and 8 millibar rises on the back end. That helped to drive the strong winds through there. So nothing like those chalkboard segments.
Yeah, and I'm same with Tom. Talking about the pressure falls. We know as like low pressure's approaching, the pressure's falling. But kind of that zero line. It's a nice little reminder. That's where your front is. Pressure falls to the east and pressure rises to the west.
And I learned from Sarah that we're forecasting to break the record at New York City by 14 degrees. That is huge. Breaking a record by 4 degrees is not very common. By 14, I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that.
It's just mind-boggling.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 right? Thank you guys all very much. Excellent show this evening. While you